Everybody, welcome back to TerraFirmaCraft Season 5, Episode 130 with me, Sid, and I'm just out looking at cows, actually. This one. Come here, you. Give me. This one is about to become steak. Do I really want the bladder? Decisions. I do want all the meat. That's a definite. If I put Trunky down here, I'm going to have trouble. So let me just run over. So, one of the problems last episode, we did a whole load of a tidy up work, if you like, and the reason for having to do that was primarily because we have had food issues, and one of those issues was cheese. Now we have bred our cows. Where's the rest of that meat? There we go. However, we still only have 2 adult female cattle, but I do know there are more cows around the place. There is one down there, for example, who we will go. So if any of these are lady cows, or heifers, then there's a certain amount of it would make. Oh dear. To grab some of those and familiarize them, because in a previous season of TerraFirmaCraft, I think I had nine milk cows, and with 9 milk cows, that's a piece of cheese every day, which is not to be sniffed at. Sorry. All of these, however, appear to be boy cows. That's not helping me. Boop, 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 boop. But we can get the protein going, so that's the thing. Wow, that is a serious amount of meat from a bunch of cattle. Right, so we've got a bunch of meat anyway. Now my primary thrust of today's episode is going to be getting the power storage systems in place and starting to plan out the next stage of our industrial expansion. But I do just want to, oh dear, what are you? Lady cow. I shall save you, lady cow, but you do have to come with me. Come on. Come on. That's one lady cow. There's another cow over there. There's quite a few cattle around here, actually, so with a bit of luck, we'll be able to address our shortage of milk cows. The other thing I do need to do before we let unfamiliarized lady cow mingle with the herd is put a block in to keep them separate while we familiarize them. 1.7, still got the bad old glitch that the rope breaks. Anyway, so I'm going to just do a little bit of quick manipulation of this lot. We'll familiarize them up. That will get me up to the point, even if I've got like 5 cows. 5 cows is sufficient to make a cheese every other day, and that's not to be sniffed at, really. So yeah, that's the kind of thing. So I'm just kind of trying to get a few things right for future reference. And come on. Yeah, that's not going to help, is it? All right, let's try this again. Actually, let's leave you there. That's fine. You just pop around for a second. Let me get some misc blocks. There should be some wall blocks there. Good. Hang on. Can't get out. And we shall Come straight down the middle. So this is for unfamiliarized cattle, which we shall hopefully encourage to come in here. Come on, come on, in you come. Right. So I'm going to do that a couple more times, or as many times as I've got cattle in the area, and I'll keep eating. And oh, must be getting close to Halloween. I'll be back in a little while. All right, there be 3 cattle. There's quite a few cows around the area. They are all male, which means that I've got plenty of sources of food, not so much sources of hoofer. What do we call it? Of milch. So I'm going to drop off these, and we're going to drop off those, and we're going to drop off those. And we are going to have a look, and I want some first things first, let's just deal with the spoils of our labour. So we've got the hide, we've got the cow bladder, and we've got the suet. Suet, if I remember rightly, we can render down for blue slime in hot water, and I thought we could do, we can do bowls of suet which can turn into tallow, and tallow can be turned into candles, yada yada. But to be honest, not a huge amount of use for suet. So we shall probably get rid of the majority of that. It's not like I can't go and grab more. The cow bladders are primarily, and in fact singularly, I think, for the these. So again, I don't think they have any additional use. However, we will keep the hides, because leather is always useful, and those cattle died for a thing. We'll stick those in there. All right, I put the suet in there. That's fine. And then if we look at these, we can heat these up to things. We can, I believe. Ooh, what's this? Cooking pot. Okay, it's interesting. Oh, what's a cooking pot? Sorry, I'm getting. And we get broth out of it. I think that's something to do with the hoofer mod, isn't it? Can we? If I just go in with beef, because you've got beef. I thought you could salt it. Let me just check. Rock salt. There you go. Let's just do a small amount of that. No? Quern it. Okay. Again, we'll just do a few. Might as well make this stuff last longer, because, it's all protein. Oh, right. Okay. Oh, it comes out like that. Right. So if I take those and combine that. No? How do you salt? And we can use. What's the difference? Alright, okay. Let me just work this out a little bit, because there's definitely supposed to be a way to salt meat and make it last longer, so that would make sense to work out how this works. If necessary, I'll cook it and we'll do it that way. But I shall be back in a moment. Alright, we've got the salted meat. You place. Oh, that's salted. Hang on, let me take one of those. You place your unsalted meat, you right click it with your salted meat. Yeah, this is all the changes from the Cooking with TFC mod, which oops, hello. That's obviously going to preserve the decay somewhat. We also need to grab that while we're at it. We probably need more salt than we've got here, but That's 60. Uses a fraction of the salt per operation. So that's that. I just want to get all of this as preserved as possible. Let me just throw down a whole bunch of meat. We'll take you off. We'll throw that down, and then we can... No? Doesn't like it when you put multiples down, apparently. Okay. Come on. Did I just pick up... No, that should work. Why has that suddenly stopped working? Okay. Peculiar. Anyway, I'm going to prepare all of this meat, and we will be back in a moment once we've got it to the point where it will last longer. I think this is going to have certain more elements of but more housekeeping going on, but yeah, well, this is TerraFirmaCraft after all, and it's not always about massive progress. It's sometimes it's about the little things, like, you know, getting all of this meat salted and ready for winter. So yeah, let me get this done and I shall be back in a moment. Of course, having the meat salted is only half of the thing. We need to cook it. Now I'm going to go, one thing we haven't made yet is a grill. So we're going to heat this up and get this forged out, and the world will be somewhat happier. So let me run that up. Now the other thing, if we're going to do that, is currently we have got a grill here. We've got this thing at the back. Now, well, this is what we're going to use for our grill. First thing is obviously we need to make it, but you wouldn't have a grill in a forge after all. But this stuff, when forged with two of them, will make a grill. So all nice and happy. Just need to get that up to temperature. While that is doing, we can turn you off. That should be done. We'll just clear that, ready for the next batch of whatever it is we need to do. But we should have a goodly supply of copper again, which is really nice, because it was getting pretty dire. Yeah, so we're good for copper. We'll get this done, and again I shall be back in a moment. Alright, they're ready, so we should be good to get them in here, make the grill, and we are... Wow, that's going to be... Okay. Almost. Damn it. Right, let's go a little bit further. 1, 2, 3, and bang. We'll get there eventually. I'll carry on with this and be back in a moment, because this is painful to watch. Alright, well that was actually painful to make, let alone build. I've done 2 days of familiarizations on these guys. Look there, it's 3%, 5%. These are obviously at 36, which is where they've done they haven't been milked today, but they're not ready yet. And we should be good to... place that on. Obviously we need some charcoal in there, and now we can cook the meats, which will then be put into our storeroom. I need some charky coal. Let me just go, that's going to be in the forge right now. Sod it, we'll take the lot. It's not like we haven't got absolutely masses of it over at the charcoal oven, so yeah, that is not actually a problem. However, we can do that, get you in, get you down. Oh, we need to We need another flint and steel, don't we? Interesting. Any flint and steel? I'm sure, yeah, there it is. Oh, let's not set fire to the house. That's always a bad idea. And then we can just cook up this meat and get it into storage. I think, was it 6, isn't it? 1, 2. Oh, no, it doesn't take them in whole chunks, does it? We need to split them. Let's get rid of you over there. That's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, that's it. And of course we need to chop the decay off first. So that's lightly cooked. It doesn't take long to cook this lot. That's the nice thing. The nice thing about it. So we'll hammer this medium, 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 and eventually medium, medium. Right, can we stack that? We can. Okay, that's all good. So again, we're going to get this quickly cooked up. We need to do 3 at a time. So yep, and we'll be back with you as soon as we have prepared all of this. Alright, that's all cooked up. Now, there was some other things I wanted to do, and I need to make... Let me just go over to our ice store. So, there are 3 items you can put in here. One is a shell thing, one is the... I think you can put torches. I'm not sure whether you can put torches actually in here. Cellar shelves, and signs. And what I want to do is I want to try, because fruit wise we are in serious trouble. Veg wise we really have no issue. Cheese wise obviously we think, but we have got quite a bit of space in here. So what I wanted to do was try something, and if I were to take this fruit from here and take you and chop you out and pop you there, that should work fine, and we should still be it's freezing in here. Yeah, so you can see we're getting the information. The temperature is 1 degree. Now in theory I think we can do that, and that will still not invalidate the structure. So don't think we can get away with that. I think that will break it at some point. I'm fairly certain. Maybe it doesn't, I don't know. I mean, it's a torch, and I believe torches are allowed. But my thoughts were just to start off with that and then go... And this one we need to empty of carrots. What time is it? Is it getting on to... I thought it was getting dark. So we need to do 1... Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 I think we need. So I need another 5 of those shelves, and I think it's out. That was impressive. I think it's 18 signs, because signs are allowed in there, and I want to basically start labelling up the actual food in there so we can get more out of it. I don't know why I'm carrying my orange around. Oops, hello. Come here. There. But I am carrying an orange around, so there you go. And we'll drink. And we need to go and make ourselves some cellar shelves, 5 of them I believe, and some signs. Let's have a look for cellar shelves. This one specifically, and it is just planks. That one is very, very, very easy then. So that's 1, 2, 3. 4. Okay. Easy way of doing it. And 5. So that's all of the shelving. And then if I want to do signs, I think that is just planks and sticks again. So if I take a bunch of these and do, that's not going to work because I haven't got sticks. Hang on, stickage. 1, 2, and 3. That's 16 plus another 2 is 18. And that should, I think, be it. Okay, sticks we'll put away. Right. I'm going to check on my my new cows, see whether they are ready to be familiarized. I don't think they are. 1, 2, and 3. And let's go back over here and see about just making this. Now it is still, temperature is still down. What we want to do is get 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there. These corners are a bit annoying that they're dead, but you know, there's not a huge amount we can do about that other than, let me find an empty shelf. There we go. But then it's kind of going to be hard to label them with signs anyway, so it's a bit of 6 1 half a dozen t'other, to be honest. Let's find that one, just pop those in there temporarily. Then we can grab you and pop you down there, and then we can get our sides and go. Right, let's have a look. Cheese and cheese. I think that's enough cheese. Then this can be veg, 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 veg. Doesn't really matter which veg, it's just veg and veg, all on that side. And let's just check this is still happy. Yep. Then I'm going to make, because again, I don't think we really had much more than a couple things of fruit. So let's just do fruit and fruit. Then we can do grain, and these can be all base. Oops, hello. These can be all grain. I think have I miscounted my sign requirements? Grain and grain. And then, yeah, I'm 1 shy, aren't I? Okay. Protein. 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 A bit more protein. And of course that one will ultimately be protein as well. So this one is fruit. That goes in there. Cheese goes in here. That's already veg. That is all coming out of there and going into here. Similarly, those ones, yep. So that's all the veg over there. Then you got oh, hang on. Where's the wrong one? This lot is veg. Doo-doo. Okay. And that is also all veg, because veg seems to be the one that does so well. I don't know why that is the case, but you know, it is what it is. And then that will be protein over there. I'm going to take the grain, I'm going to move it all down to the first stall as well, just so we can know kind of which ones to. We always start from this end. That one, that's except for that. Then we'll know what is what. And this is still happy, it's not complaining. We just need one more sign. That's all sorted. And we've got lots of space in there for more food, which is good, because I'm going to head over, also head around here and milk our 2 cows. Wherever you are. Well, I'll get that before I accidentally drink. So yeah, obviously at the moment taking 4.5 days or 5 days to get enough to make milk. Once these girls are familiarised, it will take 2 days to get enough to make milk. Right, oh, I need to put that away as well, don't I? Let me do that, I'll be back in a sec. Alright, it's another morning. I need to do my chores. Oh God, come here. And where are you there? Head off. So, another day, and we have got another portion of cheese. These guys are 13% familiarised. Let's get these guys done. 2, 3. Another day, another step closer to that. Now, what I've got going on over here is platforms, basically, at the moment. I just put that down because my inventory was full. And what we are trying to achieve here, oh dearie me, come here, is this kind of demarcation for each machine. So you're going to come down, you know, like this to there. We're definitely going to need at least 2 more. Well, I think we're going to need quite a lot more. But that's going to come down to there. Then we can come around like that. That will obviously then work down this side the same. And you get these platforms, which are going to be the building blocks of where each of the machines is going to go. And the question mark here is, I think I'm just going to leave this as a gap. I'm going to leave that straight like this, and we're going to come across on these ones and just do straight off that. And because that will be 1, 2, 3, there'll be a slight lip on that side, slight lip on that side, and similar on this one here. So, you know, we are kind of, working the shape of the machines into the building before we even start with any kind of, you know, serious levels of planning. And hopefully that will give us a reasonable foundation. Now, we are going to have to drop lights down in the first instance on these, because, you know, you can see they're spawnable. And I mean, that's not in itself is not a problem. And, you know, especially considering we're in the in theory, this area is protected from spawns by the fact that I'm here, and I always find that a strange concept, the idea that you can spawn proof an area on the basis that you're actually living in it. That's well, it's very good from a point of view of building, and maybe it's something that Minecraft should give you the ability to do, or maybe even some kind of spawn proof block, because in all honesty there's little enjoyable about having your base blown up by a creeper. You know, you spend time and effort building these things. It'd be nice to not automatically lose them just because, you know, the most iconic mob of Minecraft is basically being a bit of a dick. Okay, I think I'm going to need a little bit more. I mean, obviously there are, especially in the newer versions, there are quite a lot of optional rules and, you know, game rules, so that is a thing. I'm just not sure whether that should be on by default or not, I suppose. Can I create... I can't create the blocks, can I? Okay, that's fine. I should have enough here to make what I need. Yep, that should do us, and we can come in here and just pop these ones in, and the world will be good and proper, especially once we've stuck a torch down in each of these spots. So we've got this going on, and then obviously we need to decide where we're going to put our corner pieces in. So there's going to be one who's going to be down here. Hopefully we'll get this right, because this is a pig if you don't. I don't know whether I want to put more legs in than that or not, whether we should. I think maybe we should have one middle off of here. And then the other thing is, what do I want to do about the legs? Do I want to use a different material going up? And I think we probably should. I'm fairly certain that is the right block. Yeah, if I'd have gone one further, then I would have been in trouble. Okay, so that's fine. These will come down here like that. Now, fingers crossed I've got this one right. This is the only bit that is real painful if you screw it up. Well, I mean, there's quite a few bits that are painful, but that one is really painful if you screw it up. So we've got that in. Let us go and look what we're going to do for that. I mean, that hickory with outline would be interesting. I just don't know whether I've got a lot of that, or whether that's one we can harvest. We've got hickory vertical planks. We've got hickory large planks. We've got loads of that. And we've got plenty of that white cedar. I suppose we could just take a few of those and see about what they look like if we turn them into that, if we chisel them into the hickory vertical planks stuff with the old chisel. That might work. So let's go down there, have a quick peek at what we think this looks like if I come in here and go, what did I say? So we know that's the floor, and then we're going to go, we need to go at least, it was a 5 by 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the height that has to be to fit the arc furnace in. I think we need to put 2 more in. Thank God for these boots. That would not be pleasant if we didn't have those in. Right, let's have a look at our mode. So is that the one that, oh God, try not to throw your stuff away. Yeah, that'll work, I think. If we can get away with those on the 4 corners, on all of the pillars, it'll give us something different, won't it? Okay, I've got a plan. That's that. Then what am I going to do for the walls? That's the, I suppose, the other question. I don't want to use slate brick because, well, I've used a whole load of slate shale brick already. I mean, granite would be interesting. Just we go and have a look at the dungeon, see what's harvestable from that. Let me get rid of that in a second. Hello, where are you there? So if we were to come down here, we've got plenty of shale. And that really appears to be the primary brick, doesn't it? It's shale and basalt, but there's, I mean, I suppose I could go for the basalt bricks. There's enough of them. Or we could go with the brickage from this level, which is conglomerate, and there is masses of that. I mean, that is very doable. I think we're going to go at this level here. I'm going to keep the F7 on just so I can, you know, process that I'm not making areas spawnable. And I'm going to grab a few stacks of this to start off with. We can always come back. It's really no more effort than crouching, is it, on those travel anchors? So let me pull this together, and I'll be back in a sec. All right, we had a thunderstorm, so I made a start on the facade. We've got this as I got plenty. I got lots and lots of that stuff, and I quite like it. It's, you know, it's simple. I'm not entirely sure what we're going to do with the roof. I may do something similar to what we've done here, but I may do a peak with a bigger peak and then a little peak just running across. I think that might work reasonably simply. However, we have got a job to do. That's in fact, we'll pop that in there and seal it, and I'm not sure how. They're not ready for milking yet. Now these guys are going to be ready for being familiarized, however, and we can milk them now. Oh, hello. Okay. Maybe we'll do those all together though, because 5 buckets at a time is going to go a long way. Let me turn that off. That's just so I can make sure I wasn't making spawnable spots in my in the dungeon as I was working. But those dungeons are massive in this context, in the context of a game like TerraFirmaCraft. They are a massive, huge and massive thing. Now, if I want to have a look at the crates, let me just... wooden items, we got some of those. Let's see what those look like as windows. I don't think glass is going to work in those just because they're chiseled. Actually, you know what? Let's not second guess what the glass is going to do, because the glass might work. So let's go and take a pane of glass, because I should have a pane of glass somewhere. No panes of glass. Apparently not. Okay, doesn't matter. We've got the makings of panes of glass. We'll take them all. We can always bring them back. And let's just check what happens when I try and put glass into those blocks. Does it join? Does it not? I don't know. It does not. And the problem is it doesn't recognize that that is a whole block, which is why it's doing that thing. However, we can get this to go. How did I do with that? How did I get you? Come back here, you. No. How did we do that? Maybe we just used a back block to hold this in. If it does, hello. If this works, we'll give those a try. And we'll take those. No. Why? No. Why is this being so damned awkward? Does it recognise those as blocks? Let's try that then. That's my next. Let's see what happens if I place it there. It does that. Or the middle. Interesting. Weird. All right, this is definitely just going to be one of those blocks, isn't it, that goes, yeah, I'll work, but only if you do me in a certain orientation. Like, not like that. Damn you. Weird. But it doesn't matter, because what it does do is actually work as a window block. So if we do the same on that side, it makes that unspawnable. That's all better. So yeah, we can basically, we can use that and put a little windowsill in there, put a window on that side. We can use these, the recipe. How do you make those? Just blocks. Okay. And the great wood. So again, not a problem. We got that coming out the wazoo. So yeah, that's a kind of the progress we've made. I'm going to get on with that for a bit, and again, I shall be back in a while. All right, I'm getting a basic, and well, in TerraFirmaCraft terms, it's actually quite advanced, but a basic structure of the roof sorted, and the walls and the stuff and the materials and a block palette down. So it's starting to come together. Now what I do need to do is get this lot just brought up into the fold. I don't think I can quite reach that. Nope. So we're going to have to go up and get it, and that should, yes, that should be it. So there's a lot to do in terms of the walls. Obviously we need to do a lot more building. There's a lot to do in terms of the roof. We need to do a lot more building. But the block palette is pretty much complete. Going to use the black basalt, smooth black basalt on the edges. The shale bricks for ceiling. I think I'm going to, however, on this larger ceiling, maybe for these, have a couple of transparent tiles like skylights in there, if I can manage that using carpenter's blocks, probably. And yeah, I mean, it's coming on. We need to, the biggie is now getting the walls down. I'm going to have to decide where I'm going to put these windows. I don't want a lot of windows because it's going to be a fairly heavy industrial building, but what I may do is run a block of mirror windows here and here. Don't see much point sticking any windows at the back. That just kind of seems counterproductive, but you know, we can come down here, and what I'm finding the easiest way to do this is to lay down three layers. Except that one, that will not be a layer because that will be a window in this case. And then we grab the old chisel, which we are actually going through at quite an alarming rate. And just chisel down. I can comfortably chisel down 3, possibly 4 bricks, but 3 just seems to be a good number to smooth those edges off. So I'm going to try and get these walls done. We're probably going to have to harvest some more slate, shale bricks before we go any further on the roof. And I may even need a little bit more basalt, but I think I can get that in the dungeon as well. So yeah, we're getting there. We're starting to get to building. I realise that I haven't touched the upgrading the power, and to be honest, that's fine. I don't think it's not the end of the world if we don't get that done this episode, as long as we get it done before we go with the poofer, diesel jig. That's the one I'm looking for, the diesel gen, because you know the diesel gen is going to generate a hell of a lot more juice. And again, I might even do 3, so 75 million RF, or maybe even 4. Have the diesel gen feed into one, the free power feed into the other. The free power can run everything over there, and the diesel can run the big machines, the arc and the crusher. You know, there are always possibilities, there's always options, and we don't have to do everything a certain way to achieve those options. So yeah, it's not the end of the world. We'll do this stuff and I shall be back with you in a second. Alright, I've got the structure in. We've got the hole there, and at the moment there's not a huge amount more to it, but let me see if I can just can I just get myself up there, please? Let's try it from this angle. Ow. That didn't work. Tell you what. Try again. I think I need a little bit of practice with this. Let me try that again. Why? Alright, you know what? There are alternatives. They're not very elegant, but they get you there. Now, these I'm having to put in because carpenter's blocks do not play nicely with air blocks. So yeah, and I'm hoping that quite clear glass will work on carpenter's blocks, because if not, I'm going to have to go and get some glass. But these will do as little scaffolds. We've got 20. I need a 24, so that should do the trick nicely there. And let's do them on this side as well. Yeah, I'll deal with the support blocks after the fact, I think. Quite clear glass. No, damn you. Okay, let's go and try and find some alternative glass. I also need to feed myself because I'm running a little bit low. Well, I'm not running low on food. I'm just running low on prepared food, which, as we know, is not exactly the same. Now, can I get away with, if I can get away with ordinary glass, then I should be able to, oh, hang on. Yeah, we should be able to do that. Actually, there's an easy way to find out, isn't there? Let's, yeah, okay, that's good news. But before I wander all the way back, you know, So yeah, this is actually more than I intended to get done this episode. The episode is running a little long, but that's actually quite routine for me these days. So oops, it's all right. We'll take it out while we're working. We'll do it proper. And same on this side. But I think that this is a building fit for some heavy machinery. So I mean, it's not as good as some that I may have built in the past, but I always maintain that building in TFC is considerably harder than building in vanilla and modded. So you know, you have to take the rough with the smooth to some degree, and if you have a situation where we can just reach that, I can't reach that one though, so it's all right. We can do that. So that gives us the space now for 3 pieces of heavy machinery, and we are in a relatively good place, I feel. So yeah, I am happy with that. I'm just wondering where I have got a well, I think I used a screenshot I've got, but I'm happy with that. That definitely works. It's reasonably close to this tower to pipe out the deuce from down here, and I'll probably bring it out from here, and if I can, down and out, or down that way, I don't know, down this way actually, and then pipe it in. But obviously we're full of fuel at the moment, so definitely a time to start making things happen, because we have got a metric crap ton of fuel. And yeah, on that note, thank you very much for watching, guys. Next episode we will get that power stuff sorted out, and we will probably make a start getting the diesel generator in. But until then, thanks for watching. Bye for now.